Hey everyone, Cautious Pancake here, and today we're going to test a Horde base that's built for a perception and intellect build using a combination of dart traps and a crawl maze. Alright, so let's take a quick walkthrough on how this base is supposed to work. Starting on the left, zombies can only enter the base through this small gap in the force field and immediately have to turn right to follow the path, whilst being shot by the first dart trap. They are then forced to crawl under these blocks along the path, which makes them an easier target for the dart traps. Once they get a few blocks in, they can also be hit by the dart trap at the other end, as these rows are about 30 blocks long and each dart trap has a range of 27 blocks. The zombies then turn the corner and repeat the process back along the second row. The rows are separated by a zombie force field to ensure that they stay where we want them, and I'll leave some links in the description below on how to do zombie force fields in case you'd like more info. This setup is then repeated along the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th row. After the 6th row, you can see I've sealed off the path rather than keeping it going for rows 7 and 8, and that's because I didn't want zombies being hit by the dart traps and potentially exploding underneath the killing corridor part of the base. Instead, zombies will run up these stairs and enter the corridor, where the electric fences will light them up for me so I can shoot them from the other end. Heading down to the other end of the base, we can climb up into the fighting platform for the corridor, where I can not only stand and snipe, but where I've also installed 2 SMG turrets which will achieve a couple of things. First, they should easily finish off any zombies that have been almost killed by the dart traps. And second, they can make a lot of noise, so that if I'm not paying attention to the corridor, I will know that there's someone there. And the reason that I might not be paying attention is up above. Here we have a second enclosure, and this is the true sniping platform where I hope to spend the majority of the Horde night, taking pot shots on the zombies as they move through the maze below. Back on the outside of the sniping enclosure is all of our electronics. We've got 6 switches here, 1 for each pair of dart traps. Each switch is linked up to a relay at either end of the base. There's 6 here that then run the power outside to another set of 6 relays on the outside of the base, and eventually to one of the dart traps. Heading back over here, you can see the same on the other side. Also from here, you can see all of the electric fences, which are wired individually for redundancy and can be repaired from here during the Horde night if we need to. While we're up the top here, the ceiling of the corridor is railing blocks that we can shoot through as well, so if there is a zombie or 2 that make it to the entrance, we can snipe them from up the top here if we want. Alternatively, if it gets too hectic, we can drop back down and snipe from the bottom where it might be easier to line up the headshots. Heading outside, you can see here are all the relays on the sidewall, and the same is on the other end. And up on the roof we have a bunch of iron spikes to kill off vultures, a couple of spotlights to help visibility in the maze, and our super sturdy power shack, which is set far enough back that any spit from cops shouldn't be hitting it. Heading back down now, we've got a staircase here to let out any zombies that end up getting stuck in the trench under the force field, which as you can see runs under the entire force field, and of course is required to make it work properly. There's another staircase on the other side as well, and there's also a big red plate barrier running around the outside of the force field so that the zombies don't end up bashing some of the dirt out of the way and messing with the pathing. Last but not least, we have the floating pillars that hold the last electrical relays up out of the way. I wanted lots of separation to ensure that they don't get hit if a cop or demo goes kaboom. Alright, just waiting on Horde night to start. In the meantime, let's check out our game stage. Currently 223 with our level at 93. And we've got mostly AP ammo with a bit of food, a bit of recog if we need it, and a bit of coffee if stamina becomes a problem. I think I saw a demo there, so we need to get straight into it. So I'll turn on that first row of dart traps. That'll start hitting them as soon as they come in. Got the cop already as well. So let's just turn on the first 3. The reason I'm not turning on all of the dart traps yet is they won't make it through the entire Horde night. There's not enough darts in a dart trap to run full Horde night, so we need to ration them a little bit. For the most part, at the beginning of the night, the first 3 rows of dart traps should be enough to keep the zombies under control. There might be a few that make it through to the base. given that I think it's about 2 darts every second. I think I calculated roughly that we can turn on the rest of them at 11:30, and then we should have all 6 rows running for most of the Horde night, except for the last sort of hour and a half, which will then be back to just the last 3 rows. But at least we have then some dart trap coverage for the whole night. In the meantime, you can see I'm just sort of sitting here, picking off easy shots where I can, missing horribly half the time. The goal here is to just stop the cop from exploding, try and keep that to a minimum. Cops exploding isn't the end of the world. We're definitely going to get some. Can't stop all of them with this sort of base, especially at day 7000 Horde. There's just too many when we're not constantly attacking the whole time, so attention will be elsewhere. The other thing that I'm drawing along here is trying to make sure that we at least shoot the rads that are going to come through once with the sniper. I've got the rad remover mod in, so that'll give us 90 seconds where it stops their health gen, and I think that was our first cop just blowing up. And our second cop just blowing up. So like I said, that's going to happen. Can try and stop zombies coming through. It's hard to tell when they're about to stand up and blow up and when they're standing up to shoot at us. It looks much the same from up here. We just try and keep them under control. Like I said, if they do blow up and take out a block here and there, it's not the end of the world. Actually taking out the crawl blocks is fine. We've set that up so that they will re-crawl again in a bit, and I might sort of cover off how that works in another video in the future. But for now, what is more of a problem is actually if they take out the pathing blocks underneath, because then they will potentially start to mess with the pathing a bit. They should be able to still jump up, but it does tend to go a bit more chaotic. As long as they tend to blow up in different spots though, it's all good. Like that. Ooh, I think that was our first SMG turret, so somebody made it to the entrance of the killing corridor. Oh, and there's a bit more gunfire, so there's a few guys making it through. It's not quite 11:30 yet, so I don't want to turn on the traps just yet. But not too far away now, where we'll get the extra dart trap support. You can see that these guys are not getting shot at the moment, which is why I need to take them out, or they will make it through. You can see that the darts traps have already done significant damage to them, so for the most part, you only kind of need to tap them with a shot or two, apart from this guy apparently, oh, just missed it, to stop them from coming through. You can see for the most part I am just focusing on the rads and the cops. They're the most risky for us. Alright, after 11:30 now, so on with the rest of the dart traps. This should really help us out now. As you can see, that rad that I would have had to have shot before is now just going to get taken out by the traps. Still going to do the odd shot here and there, mostly for that rad removal, to stop them from healing themselves back up again. Nice. Almost feels like we're in a bit of a lull anyway. Just not that many, oh, apart from this demo, there's not that many coming through. The other advantage of the crawl base is that I'm pretty sure I can't hit the chest plate. Oh, I can't hit the chest plate on the demo while they're crawling along like that. Don't quote me 100%, I'll probably end up doing it now, but I haven't so far, and I'm not sure that it's possible while they're crawling along. Here we go, getting quite a few little ones at the moment, but they should be taken out by the early dart trap bros. They don't have a hell of a lot of health unless they're ferals, which again, most of them should be at this late game stage. Just for the fun of it, take out him. Again, all the little ones taken out by the traps, which interestingly I'm not getting XP for. I do have advanced engineering maxed out at level 93, given this is a precision and intellect build. So I'm not sure why I'm not getting the XP for the zombies that we kill with the dart traps. Don't know if I've gone too far away or something else is broken in this game. If anybody else has seen this for some reason, please do let me know in the comments, as it's not something that I expected. I expected to be getting quite a lot of XP from the dart traps constantly killing the zombies for us. We seem to only be getting the XP for the kills with the sniper rifle. One other thing to mention, I guess, while we're not too busy, is originally we didn't have the full sniper enclosure up the top here. As you would have seen, obviously we have been getting a bit of cop spit through the windows at us. That doesn't come through the windows, but it does hit it. Every now and then though, one does come through, and with all of the electronics and switches on the walls and relays on the wall behind us, and I'm just going to shoot around that explosion, but with all of the electronics on the wall behind us, any cop spit coming through without that extra layer of wall behind us was causing problems. So the sniper enclosure ensures that that doesn't happen and keeps all the wiring to the dart traps from getting blown up. And once the dart traps go from this base, obviously you get a hell of a lot of more zombies showing up at the front door of the killing corridor. I also had the switches at the back, speaking of the electronics, with all of the 6 switches separated so that if we wanted to, we could be running back and forth and saving ammo, turning off the 6th row. I haven't been using much in the last few minutes really, so we could have gone and turned that off, save a bit of ammo. In the end, I found that a little bit crazy to be constantly running back and forth, especially with the new doors that we had to put in to go sort of back and forth. Or instead, it's a lot easier, assuming of course that you can afford the mats, to just leave them on, and you don't have to worry about suddenly dashing out because one cop or one demo has made it through to the 6th row and you suddenly need that dart trap turned on. And you don't want to bring the switches close to where we're fighting, because then the cop spit blows them up and then you lose the dart trap. The other improvement that I've considered as we sit through a whole bunch of cop explosions, you can see there on that one, that's why I've got the protection around the dart trap, because he was right next to it. The railings sit on front of them to keep them protected. The other improvement that I have considered for this base is to run the maze in the opposite direction, 90 degrees I guess, and turn it around so that the zombies are running forward and backward towards us and away from us. That would mean that headshots are potentially a little more possible or a little easier when they're running towards us, but completely impossible when they're running away from us. So I didn't do it in the end, but it is something that you could consider if you were building this base yourself. It might be something that you like better or less. I don't know if it's just me, sounds a bit different on the dart traps. I don't know whether the front ones have run out yet. Maybe not just yet. No, they're still going. Just my imagination. Oh, no, didn't get him in time either. Or him. As you can see, whilst there is a lot of cop explosions, so far the base is holding up really well. I'm sure there'll be some repairs for us to do, but it's not destroying the pathing and everything's still working the way it should be. This looks like a big run of zombies now. Possibly owl. Start of the next wave. See who gets it. Sorry, who gets through to the third. As you can see, the third and fourth and fifth in particular rows are the ones where we've got the best line of sight for the sniping. The first row is absolutely rubbish. Ooh, got to level up. But the first row is really just for the dart traps to do their thing and start to whittle down the health pools. Coming up owl again. 230, coming up on 230. So if my very, very rough calculations are correct, that should be when we actually do lose those first 3 rows of dart traps. And we'll start to see more zombies make it through. There goes a head. Sounds like a chicken. Crazy chicken. I'm guessing that's a vulture. There we go. Whoa. Jeez. I'm just trying to stand back a bit, a little bit to get that vulture stuck on the iron spike somewhere. Hopefully it'll run into them soon. There we go. And look how many zombies we've got on this row, so I think once I try and take care of a few of these, I shouldn't panic, because this is just more zombies testing on the last 3 rows. But it does feel a little more stressful since they're so far further through the base in such big numbers now. In a sec, I'll go check. You can see they do get jammed up a little bit from time to time and start to drift out onto the force field, but as long as they don't end up completely on it, they do run back and everything's okay. If they end up completely on it, there we go, SMG targets. But if they do end up completely on the force field, then they will start to dig a little bit. We just got to keep an eye out for that. Just going to check here. Everything seems alright. There's another cop. Sounds like someone's at the front door. Ah, soldier. Rad soldier made it through. But otherwise, again, most of the zombies, as you can tell while I've been faffing around, that they're mostly getting taken out by the dart traps. Now that the first 3 aren't working, just down to the last 3 rows, and half an hour to go. Again, just a short burst of SMG fire means that there's not heaps that they have to do. The zombies are mostly dead from the dart traps, so that's good. They're not there to pump out a ton of damage, just to finish them off a bit. Electric fences obviously help as well. And if it's too much, then we can go out and have a look ourselves. But like you see, by the time I get out there, they always seem to be pretty much dead. and tag as many of these as I can. Stop the rad regeneration, assuming that I can actually hit them. Only 10 minutes of the Horde day proper to go. Oh, that was a good run. Can't see, too much cop spit. That is the end of Horde night. So we haven't had anyone really make any inroads to the base. They've all sort of got taken out by the SMG turrets at the entrance. Let's see, we've still got our last 3 rows of dart traps still firing, and I'll leave them on for a bit longer while there's still a bunch of zombies here, but we can go turn them off in a minute. I'm not quite sure how he's walking, but anyway. He's dead too. And there you go. Even though I was going to go turn the dart traps off at 4:15, they've run out of ammo. So that was pretty much on the money for turning them on at 11:30 for the second set of dart traps. It is an awful lot of ammo that it has ripped through. You know, darts aren't completely cheap. And we had 1,500 in all 12 dart traps. So a lot of ammo is gone, but by day 7,000, that's probably not a huge drama. Obviously means that this is not a it's not an early game stage base. Alright, I think I was going to say everyone's dead, but there's a groan. Don't know where they are. Hello? Oh, there's a cop. He's dead. Is that it? No. Oh, another one. And another one. And hopefully that's it. Let's grab the shotty and go do some cleanup. Someone else out here. You can tell from that clicking sound that they're all still on, but yep, out of ammo. Obviously some visible damage there. That's not too bad. Obviously in the early blocks though, that's going to be zombies hitting it. It's not going to be cop explosions, because they need to get a little bit further in usually before they start blowing up. Second row's not too bad. My shooting is still terrible. There we go. About third row. Should start to be some damage along here. Oh, there you go. There's a block that's almost done. Oh, this is not too bad, really. Lots of little damage, so it's a bit annoying to have to repair them all. But for something where you can do a full day 7,000 Horde, for the most part, just kicking back and taking pot shots, that's not bad. I think these are all empty, just to make sure that if they're not empty, it means that we lost a wire or it turned off for some reason. But no, they're all empty. So I think it's done its job nicely. Well, thanks everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed this base design. Please leave a like and consider subscribing if you feel so inclined. And happy sniping!